Hey, how's it going? This is Erik with Solve Cycle Solutions. For those of you that don't know me, I am a no-code and automation specialist, and my job is to help save people time from doing the work that they hate so they can focus on what they love instead. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down SmartSuite as a database tool and how this is a far superior tool to using something like Google Sheets, and I'm going to be applying a practical example of building a CRM and showing you how this can be better organized and more efficiently run than a Google spreadsheet. So if you have a long meandering Google spreadsheet that runs you and your business, then you may have come to the right place. Let's get to it. Let's just dive right into my screen here, and apologies in advance for not prepping you for seeing just an unorganized spreadsheet. I know to some people this may be a little traumatizing. To others, you might be wondering, how did I steal your contact list spreadsheet? And if that's the case, this is probably a really good video to show you some ways to organize this a little better. The main reason that I don't use spreadsheets is that I have a harder time focusing and trying to locate the specific information that I'm looking for at a quick glance. So obviously I have some information that is just generated with lorem ipsum, but you can see like these are fake emails that have been set up, as well as fake business names and contact types. If I'm trying to find a specific person in here, it can be a little overwhelming just trying to look at this instead of just trying to get a quick filter of what I'm looking for. I have a series of different contact types here. So I have leads, people that I've met that are just going to be in my network. I have clients, I have employees, as well as cold leads. So as you can see, there's a lot of different ways that all this information can be compiled into this list. We have my own personal notes if I want to put them on the client. And then I also have special fields for specific client types or contact types. So we have an hourly rate for the people that are officially clients with me. You have this meeting date set up here for when we set up initial meeting times to start the lead generation process. For employees, I have job titles, and for a lot of networking people, I have listed where did we meet, or if someone becomes a cold lead, they have a reason why. And then also I have a lifetime value for any client that I'm working with. This is a lot of information to be looking at in one spreadsheet. And again, I had this generated for 500 contacts. So I know a lot of businesses may have similar long lists. And one of the things that I've heard a lot from different people is that they start out using spreadsheets, but it eventually becomes so long and meandering and unorganized that it's actually harder to look at information. This is lucky because it's all clean and neat, but as you continue to add information, it requires more and more upkeep to keep everything organized, and that also requires more time for people to be looking in here, combing out information that's needed, and updating it. There are some people that will say that it's easier to manage if you have smaller lists or if you break things up into separate sheets, which you can see here. I've created a client tab as well as a leads tab, and I've even started to color code some things. This is something, again, I see the color coding a lot, and I've had this with so many different jobs where we keep everything organized in a spreadsheet that has color coded tabs. But in this case, I don't really have a way to mark clearly what these colors are for. I don't have any explanation as to why cold leads are being made cold or other criteria that I really do wish I had this all in one location. So the main question that I'm trying to figure out is, can we make this information more accessible inside of SmartSuite and be able to quickly break information down to be in one long list, but appear and function as if we're working through several different tabs? first thing to get started on this is I'm actually going to download this as a CSV file, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way so that when we start building inside of SmartSuite, it's going to be a lot easier to do. And if you're new to SmartSuite, you may have heard of similar tools like Airtable or Knock. Knack, I think, is actually the correct term. But basically what SmartSuite functions as is a really good database system for you to store information, and this can be applied to a variety of different tasks and projects. For example, you could build an entire solution just dedicated to project management for your team and for the tasks you need to deliver on goods to your customers. Or you can have a really robust invoicing and financing system that helps you see how much money you're bringing in on a weekly basis, as well as how much you're spending on a weekly basis. If you haven't already, there's a link in the description for signing up with SmartSuite. Feel free to click that. It is an affiliate link, so we'll just give a little kickback to me to help keep the lights on this channel, and any support you are willing to give would be greatly appreciated. But that being said, if you set up an account with SmartSuite, it is free. They have a very wonderful, free, robust account. And so you should be able to implement this and try it for yourself, so you're not having to worry about spending hundreds of dollars on a fancy CRM system that may not do exactly what you need, or maybe not worth the cost of all the headache of migrating that information. So to get set up with a solution, which is what SmartSuite calls their database, you can click this plus button under your My Workspace, and you'll see that there is a Start With template as well as Create From Scratch. You can see that if you just type in, they have a very incredible solution template system. I just type in CRM, and you'll see that they have designed templates for churches, for freelancers, fundraising, and sales, and even Sales Lite. It's pretty sweet. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a custom CRM for myself with the data that I've already set up. So I'm going to click Create From Scratch, and it's going to pull me into this brand new solution, and under the solution is going to be this table. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly rename the solution here. Here we go. Got to hit the title underneath at the top of the menu here. And I'm just going to put this as import CRM. You can change color. You can change any icons you want. But that's really all we're going to need for this particular solution. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this tab underneath the solution title, and I'm going to just change this table name to CRM. Table is basically a organization of data underneath a solution. You can import data here, or you can add information here, and it will just stay in this particular table. You can add multiple tables within a solution, so this can be useful when you're trying to add different data sets that are relevant in a certain subcategory of your business. But for now, I just need the one. I'm not going to add any other tables, but you'll notice down here that we have a title field, assigned to, priority, status, and due date. These are just the standard field types that are set up when you create a new table. I don't need a lot of these, so I'm actually going to delete most of them here. And the only one that I'm going to leave is status for now. The only thing that you cannot delete on this is the title. So the title is basically the identifying record name for each piece of information that goes in here. So in this view, we have what's called a grid view, and you'll see that the record title comes in here. We can put that information in, and we can create a whole range of unique field types to mark and add specific information that we need for our clients and customers and contacts in this. So you can go in and manually add all these individual fields, but if you're importing information like we are, there's an even easier way to do this. So under the CRM, you'll see there's this little drop-down arrow, and again, underneath where we change the name, there's a tab called Import Data. I can click CSV Import. It's going to add this just reminder saying, hey, you can only import up to 5,000 records and the size and everything can be limited, and that's okay. I'm just going to click OK, I understand. Now, to drag this information over, I'm going to just click and drag the Excel file that I just downloaded over from Google Sheets, this long list here, and basically it's going to automatically just import all of this information. The system seems to recognize already the headlines for the specific fields that we want, so we're pretty much ready to go here. We also have the option to update existing records, so this would be fantastic if you have an additional data set that has new information on existing clients and you want to import all that info at once. But for now, we just hit next and we can map this information. So you'll see that there are only a few pieces of information that we can actually put in here based on the field types we have currently existing in our solution. But we can actually just hit Add New, and it will give us the option to create a new name based on specific pieces of information that we want. So for this, for example, we have a full name field type that we can utilize. I'm going to map the first name here and hit that. And then you can also do this again for the last name. The one caveat that's a little frustrating here is that I don't have the ability to search through the field types for SmartSuite. It would be really nice because otherwise I'm having to scroll through everything, and that can be a lot to handle. Even if it is alphabetized, it just takes a little bit of scrolling sometimes to see what exactly you're hoping to get set up. So what I'm going to do is, because we have a lot of different templates here, I'm probably just going to fast forward through this little bit here or cut to the end, and we'll go over the specifics in a minute. Now that we have our information all mapped, you can see that I've gone ahead and just set up specific field types that I've even be able to just generate from non-existent field information inside of SmartSuite. So the system knows now where these fields are going to be mapped to. All I have to do is hit Next. And what we're going to see is it's going to take a minute to just import all of this information. You'll see that there's one here that says we have rows with issues here. And basically that's just the title field that we had set up initially. We don't really need to do anything with that. Everything else is good to go. So we can just import this information. It's going to take a minute. Now, also, in case there is an error, you can say fix remaining errors or just go ahead and import the different rows here. And that's what I'm just going to do. Now, it's going to take a minute, and if you don't see anything, you're going to want to just refresh the page. But I really want to take a moment here to kind of explain this is why I use SmartSuite, because the information that we're able to present here is going to be more quickly organized. I'm going to be able to more effectively find the specific information I'm looking for, and I can break things down without having to migrate from one tab to another for if a status on a client changes or having to search through several different fields of information. Now this information is all being run into one place, and it just reduces the amount of time I'm having to spend moving between different data sets and just helping me be more efficient with both my time and with how fast I can quickly get back to specific leads that I'm looking for, as well as specific clients that I'm having to work with on a regular basis. Now, one thing that I did not do at the beginning here, and this is why the information is blank under the title screen, is that either you can create manual entry title records, or I can map this information to be auto-generated based on field types that we have. So in this case, I'm just going to look for, through all the titles that we have, I can type in full name, and let's see what full name 2 pulls up here. We have everybody's first and last name automatically being consolidated inside of this record now. I can also quickly look at the different pieces of information that we want to display on this field. I could set up just their initial contact, I can select the business name that they work with, as well as just having their phone number. So there's a lot of information here still. And yes, it's a little bit cleaner to look at compared to the Google spreadsheet, but a lot of you might be saying that this isn't really worth all of that migration and upkeep. And if that were all that SmartSuite could do, you'd be absolutely right. But there are a few other tricks I want to show you here. And the main thing I want to show you is some of these toolbars up here, specifically going through filters, groups, and then I want to show you how you can view different sets of data based on this information. So filter, like the name intends, it allows you to remove contacts that are not needed for what you're looking for or don't meet your specific criteria. So say I want to look at any client in my CRM. I can specifically say where the status is logged as client. And now it doesn't look like a lot's happened here, but you'll see that the list is shrunk. And that doesn't mean that the data for all of my clients are gone. It just means that this is filtering out only people that meet this particular criteria. I could also go even a step further. And if we wanted to display specific information relevant to clients, I could look and see I had both an hourly rate as well as a lifetime value. Now, this seems to be a weird formatting issue from going over from Google Sheets, but in this case, I'm going to reduce the number of decimal points here so that it looks more manageable. There we go. I'm going to do this for the lifetime value as well. And you'll see that I have a lot of different pieces of information that I'm looking for. And maybe I only want to fixate on the specific clients that have earned over a lifetime value over $1,200. So in this case, I could filter out the specific information on lifetime value. I can also mark it as greater than or equal to, but for here, I'm just going to say, let's see which clients I've earned more than $1,200 with. So if that's what I put in here, I could quickly find the specific information I'm looking for instead of having to search basically with Control F or having to work through a very cumbersome setup inside of this Excel spreadsheet. The one last thing that I want to show you though is that it's very easy inside of SmartSuite to maintain different views of data. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's go back to that filter example that I set up earlier. Say I only want to, again, only look at clients on this view, and I want to also see, again, the lifetime value is greater than 1,200. I want to know the lifetime or my top 20% clients, basically. I can come into this view on the left-hand side here and just say top clients, and I can leave that information here. And so I know exactly who I want to make sure that I keep working with. But what's also important for me is that I don't want to have to go back and refilter this information every single time I look at this data. If I want to look at different view types, I can hover over this Create New View in the lower left corner of my screen, and you'll see that there are a wide variety of ways that I could present this data. Say I want to look at a calendar view. I have a bunch of leads, and one of those field types that we had over in our data set was a meeting date. So let's see what happens when I create a calendar view. I'm going to make this a lead interview page and then hit create. And you'll see that all of these contacts are showing up inside my calendar here now, showing what meetings I have in what coming days. I can look in June and it's showing up when they've decided to schedule calls with me. Another view type that I can build if I wanted is based on the card view. So I have some employees in my data contacts, and maybe I just need to know their specific information. I want to be able to quickly look at their phone numbers and email contacts and their job titles. We can set up a card view because there may only be a handful of people here. So let's say status is employee, and you see here that we have about 9 people, but I can also add their information. I can add title, email, phone number, and I can also reorganize this. So the title, person's name will always be, the primary field will be at the top, but I could make the title, email, and phone number, or rearrange it any way I want. I also make this information a little bigger. And so this allows me to just quickly look at people's information that I need. And you could even customize more information here based on your specific business needs. So if you want to show a linked record to the calendar, or calculate when the next time they're going to be working is, or even how many hours they have left in their retainer, you could show this information here very quickly. So that just barely scratches the surface inside of what you can do with a CRM inside of SmartSuite. I know I covered a lot in this very short time span, trying to show how to import and migrate that data, and trying to emphasize why this works so much better than using just a standard spreadsheet. And I hope that you got a lot of value out of this, but this doesn't really cover anything from the ability to easily import information. I didn't even show you the form view that you could send people to have them put their information in for you, or even being able to integrate this with Slack so that you get notifications whenever someone changes. For example, whenever somebody meets a new requirement and moves to a different part of your sales pipeline, or even just sending Google invites from SmartSuite. There is so much you can do with the automation aspect of it, but just using this for organization purposes alone, it's so much easier to manage and will help you a lot more than just trying to continue using the same monster of a spreadsheet that you've probably been using in your business for a long time. I hope that you got motivation from this video to try and implement this system for yourself. If you do get stuck, feel free to book a call with me. I am offering free 30-minute consultations. We should be able to import a sizable CRM or spreadsheet and map that information into SmartSuite for you, so you can start testing this out for yourself. But you can also schedule a call for other reasons. If you have ideas on how you want something automated in no code, if you're just curious if something is possible, or if you just need some help getting something stuck, that's what that 30-minute consultation is for. If you have any questions or have any specific use cases you would like to see done as a video on this channel, please let me know in the comments of this video. And also, just going to go ahead and say, please subscribe if you found this video helpful and want to see more of this kind of content. I would love to try and see how much time I can save people in this community, and I hope, again, that you've gotten a ton of value from this video. That's everything I have to say for this particular video. I really hope that you will take the time to start making things easier for yourself with using a no-code solution like SmartSuite, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.